Have you ever wondered if being tall could make you rich, powerful, or even irresistible? Why does height still seem to matter so much in our modern world, where we don't need to hunt mammoths or face off against saber-toothed tigers anymore? Let's dive into the fascinating world of height, attraction, and success. You might be surprised by what we find. And hey, have you ever felt that life might be a little different if you had a few extra inches, literally? Maybe you thought, if I were taller, I'd have more money, more success, and people would love me. Well, let's break that down. But don't worry, we're not asking you to measure your height right now. Yeah, this isn't a fitness test. Hey there, I'm SuperNerd. Superman granted me superpowers to understand and simplify science, on the condition that I use them to benefit others. That's why today I'm bringing you an amazing topic. But first, I need your support. Subscribe to the channel so we can reach our dream of 1 million nerds. Subscribe now and be part of this epic journey. Why do people still think being tall is such a big deal? A long time ago, it made sense. Imagine you're in the wild, and your ancestors are either selling sheep in the desert or hiding in the forest. The tall guy? Well, he seemed like the strong one, the one who could protect, fight, and chase down dinner. The short guy? Maybe more like your friend who always shows up at the last minute to help you move furniture, less useful when you're trying to hunt down a mammoth, but definitely helpful in those other moments when you need someone to make your life a bit easier. Yeah, we know, it sounds ridiculous now, but that instinct stuck around. Fast forward to today, and what have we got? A book by Dr. Leslie Martell and Henry Biller. Yep, people are still obsessed with this topic. They even did a survey of over 300 students, both men and women. And guess what? Most of them said tall men were the better choice compared to shorter peers. Sounds unfair, right? They described shorter men as less rational, less confident, and less successful, kind of like saying someone without their morning coffee can't accomplish anything. Yeah, that crazy idea that caffeine is the key to everything, and it gets even crazier. Picture this. In 1968, a guy named Paul Wilson did an experiment where the same person entered 3 different rooms, each time saying he was someone different, a student, a lecturer, and then a professor at Cambridge University. Afterward, people were asked about his height. The professor version? Apparently, 5 centimeters taller than the student version. Because, you know, it's hard to imagine a big, brainy professor being, well, short. Funny how our minds work, right? It's just like when you think your boss is taller than you, simply because they have more authority. Maybe if you were the CEO of a company, people would start seeing you as a giant like Gulliver. Oh, and it doesn't stop with opinions. Real-life numbers are pretty clear too. 90% of CEOs at the world's top 500 companies are taller than the average American citizen. And get this, only 3 out of 27 American presidential elections saw the shorter candidate win. Throughout the whole last century, not one US president was shorter than average. Seems like even democracy needs a boost in stature, right? Maybe the shorter candidate just needs to wear some high-heeled shoes to get those extra votes. Now, let's talk about love. Yep, it matters here too. It turns out that height can influence not just how people see you in a professional setting, but also in romantic relationships. Studies show that taller men are often perceived as more attractive, which might explain why some people think height can boost your dating game. But wait, before we get all romantic, let's talk about how height also affects the paycheck, because nothing says romance like a good salary. An Australian study found that every extra 5 centimeters in height means about $950 more in annual salary. And if you're wondering if that extra cash makes someone a prince, well, they have expenses too. Turns out every extra 7 centimeters means a 10% increase in food. Gotta feed that tall body. After all, imagine going to the grocery store to buy supplies, and every time you remember that you're paying more just because your body eats more. Sure, a tall body makes you look like a prince, but a prince needs a wallet full of dollars, right? But is everything great in the world of tall people? Not necessarily. Finnish studies show that skiers live longer than basketball players by about 7 years. And the Japanese who live past 100, they're usually 10 centimeters shorter than those who only make it to 75. Even when it comes to the gentler sex, yep, we're talking about women, life expectancy tends to favor the shorter ones. There's no country where women live longer than men and happen to be taller. Maybe there's a hidden advantage to being closer to the ground, and maybe being closer to the ground makes you better at finding that remote you lost in the couch. Yeah, the shorter folks are always the heroes when it comes to finding lost things. And let's not forget the health concerns. A larger body means more cells, which increases the chances of health issues like cancer. The struggle is real, more cells, more problems. Even the heart has to work harder to pump blood through all that extra body. So, if you're tall, you're not just paying for extra food, you're also dealing with more pressure, literally and figuratively. Remember that feeling after climbing 3 flights of stairs because the elevator was broken? Now imagine that every day just because you're tall. Yep, it's like a gym membership without the membership. But are the stereotypes about height even true? Are shorter men really less capable leaders? Absolutely not. Remember Napoleon? How about Sarkozy, Hollande, Berlusconi? Okay, maybe not the best example, Angela Merkel, or even athletes like Roberto Carlos and Spud Webb. Height doesn't determine talent or ability. You don't need to be tall to score a three-pointer or lead a country. Just ask Spud Webb, who was dunking like any other giant. Yeah, even the short guy can be the star of the court. You just need one good jump. So, can height make you richer, more attractive, or more powerful? Well, in some people's minds, yes. But the truth is a lot more nuanced. Society's obsession with height has roots in our ancient past, but the reality is that greatness comes in all sizes. Just because someone's taller doesn't mean they're better. Napoleon might have been shorter, but he definitely made an impression, and so can you. And by the way, if you're not tall enough to reach the top shelf, remember there's always a step stool for that job. What do you think? Is height still overrated? Do you think people should let go of these outdated stereotypes? Leave a comment, hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more intriguing takes on human behavior and the science behind what makes us tick. Help us reach 1 million nerds by subscribing to the channel. After all, if Napoleon can make history at 5 feet 6 inches, surely we can make it to 1 million subscribers. And don't forget to check out the sources for this episode below the video. You might just find a few surprising details there too.